So they make the choice. They took my son from me, and I make the choice to take her life. It's as simple as that. That was the answer Diazien Hossencofft gave the court when he testified to the murder of Girly Chew Hossencofft, his wife. What the court would go on to reveal over the course of the trial would shock the world. A desperate string of scams, manipulation, plans to save the Earth from reptilian alien queens, and cannibalism. The life of Diazien Hossencofft is a maze of lies and deceptions, but sorting out the truth from fiction is vital to understanding what happened to Girly Chew. Hossencofft, born Armand Chavez, was a con man of the lowest order. After he was caught using forged transcripts to get into the medical school and subsequently expelled, he began calling himself Dr. Diazien Hossencofft. He would prey on the sick and elderly with bathtub chemicals and fake promises. Desperate people would come to him in his miracle cures, only to be given vitamin injections. Hossencofft pretended for a time to have leukemia to convince those actually with the disease to invest in his cure. What could be more heroic and inspiring than a man struggling to save himself and others from this deadly disease? He took their money and ran. Elderly women would come to him for anti-aging chemicals, since he claimed to be a renowned chemist who had cracked the code on the fountain of youth. What cocktail of pseudoscience he injected them with is unknown, but some lost hundreds of thousands to his scams. When Girly Chew met Hossencofft at SeaWorld, she lost her heart. She fell for his lies and moved from her home in Malaysia to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where the two would be married in 1993. At first, things were going well for the couple. Girly Chew had a job as a bank teller, which she excelled at and was well liked. However, the happy days were not to last, and soon cracks in the Hossencofft's mask began to show. The largest came in the form of Diazien's son, Dimitri. Diazien just showed up one day, well into their marriage, with his son. He never mentioned Dimitri to Girly Chew, nor revealed who the mother was. Girly Chew took this in stride and formed a bond with the child, one so strong that she fought for custody when she eventually filed for divorce. Girly Chew had suspected her husband of having an affair. She had caught him with several women and realized he wasn't a doctor, a chemist, or a geneticist. He had made it all up. The final straw came when she confronted him, and Hossencofft assaulted her. She filed charges and left the home. Then the harassment began. At first, it was little things. Air was let out of her tires and her windows were broken. He would berate her on phone calls and messages. Things got worse as the divorce continued, and she pressed for custody of Dimitri. Just before she left for a visit to her hometown in Malaysia, Girly Chew checked her bags and found that Hossencofft had planted drugs in her luggage. Malaysia has a mandatory death penalty for drug trafficking as of 1983. Girly Chew would express fear of her husband to her friends and co-workers. She even went as far as to informing the police that if something were to happen to her, it was Hossencofft who did it. So when she failed to show up for work on September 10, 1999, police didn't have far to go for a suspect. But when they arrived at Hossencofft's house, he was gone. He had fled to North Carolina just days before. They did find someone else there, his new girlfriend and one of 3 women he was secretly engaged to, Linda Henning. Henning is the other half of this ugly affair. She had met Hossencofft at a David Icke event. Icke had made a name for himself in the UFO and conspiracy theory community with his belief that reptilian aliens secretly control the world. A topic I touched on in Fringe, They Come From Below. Henning had always been fascinated by these theories and was an easy mark for Hossencofft's manipulation. He convinced her that he was a 7,000-year-old alien and that Henning was the Queen of Earth, the de facto protector of the human race. What threat did humanity need protection from? Well, alien queens, of course. Henning believed that she had to fight invading reptilian queens who had infiltrated Earth. She even possessed a sacred sword Hossencofft had purchased online to kill the alien threat. It is important to note that Henning was mentally unsound before she met Hossencofft, but he pushed her sanity past the breaking point. He had twisted her up so much into this alien queen fantasy that when he pointed her at Girly Chew, Henning didn't hesitate to attack. At first, she claimed not to know Girly Chew, but for investigators that dog didn't hunt. They knew Henning had banked at Girly Chew's job and had met before. From there, they revealed that not only had blood and hair been found at Girly Chew's home, but some of that blood belonged to Henning. Things get complicated here. There are missing links in the chain of events. First, we know that Girly Chew was either killed in her home or viciously attacked there and killed somewhere in the desert. This is evident by the amount of blood at the scene. While Hossencofft admitted to cleaning the blood spatter with bleach, he did a poor job. One of the investigators said that the apartment lit up like a Christmas tree when they brought out the luminol, a chemical that reacts to blood particulates and causes them to glow a light blue under the right light. Hossencofft would go on to try some weird stunts later in court. He was called to testify during Henning's trial and attempted to say that Henning's blood had only been at the scene because he had planted it there. But then he tried to say that he hadn't been attempting to frame her for a crime. Second, there may have been a third person involved, another man, Bill Miller, who was arrested in connection with the disappearance. Hossencofft would go on to try and implicate Miller further, but in the end, Miller was only charged with tampering with evidence. Hossencofft would confess to being the killer of Girly Chew at Henning's trial in an attempt to get her off. On murdering his wife, he said she had been like a scared rabbit in an open field. She knew. Third, there may be a sickening reason as to why Girly Chew's body has never been found. All the police have ever turned up was a bloody tarp, bits of hair, and scraps of her clothes. While in prison, a cellmate of Henning's gave a harrowing report. She had asked the woman what they had done with Girly Chew's body, and Henning looked her in the eyes and mimed picking up something and eating it, implying she had consumed the poor woman's corpse. Diazien Hossencofft and Linda Henning are both serving life sentences for the kidnapping and murder of Girly Chew. To this day, they have refused to give up the location of the body. In a final gut punch, Girly Chew had been a follower of Buddha, and without her body being whole and given proper burial rites, her parents believe that her soul is doomed to wander in the dark until she is found. Hey, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed my work and want to show some support, I deeply appreciate it. My books can be found on Amazon. I do have a Patreon as well as a Ko-Fi at Ari Brewster. You can find me in all the usual places. Links below. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm out.
I'm so broke. Yeah, I'm so broke. This dollar won't last. I'm in dire need of cash 'cause I'm so broke. I'm so broke. Yeah, I'm so broke. No food to eat. I'll sell pictures of my feet 'cause I'm so broke.